Hey guys, this is Tony with Geek Designs. Today I'm back with another video. Today I want to talk about how do we set up die cutting in Affinity. If you learned something, if you like this, like and subscribe. Yeah, let's get into it. So here we are in Affinity. I got my logo here. So we're going to make a die cut out of this. Right now this is a 4x4. I'll do some brief understanding between die cutting and cut contour cutting. So when we talk about die cutting, usually we're thinking custom stickers, we're thinking custom shapes. It used to be that, and it still is to some extent, die cutting was done on a physical die. It's a wedge, a piece of wood with some metal bits in it, and that would get pushed into it and that would cut the paper. Now when we talk die cutting, we're usually talking about on a Suma, on a roll-to-roll printer that can also do it, or a Colex, or some machine like this that has a blade that can do digital cutting. It allows us to not have to worry about buying a die. Dies aren't that expensive, but it allows us to do that. Also, dies have some issues with some paper stocks or stocks that have some different properties to it. So that's the difference between when we talk about die cutting, traditional die cutting versus cut contouring or digital die cutting. When we're doing die cutting, we need to consider how tight our edges are, or how tight our points are, especially when we're doing digital. Like, say if we're going into this point right here where these two teeth meet. Going this tight in and having a blade go back on itself is going to cause a rip. Or it's going to cause the blade to splice. Or it's going to cause it to just shred this piece of paper together, or this vinyl pieces. It will happen. I've seen it happen. It'll also happen if we try to go in here, into this groove. So understanding that, what is the best way to make this work well? We need to make sure that we have good margins. Doing something like this, I would usually make sure that I have a good white area around it. Thinking about a sticker, that looks usually the best, having a white area around it. So how do we do that? Well, first of all, I'm going to take this. I'm going to just copy this whole graphic here. I'm going to hide my bottom one. I'll call this one art. This top one, I know for my software, and it really doesn't matter. Usually if you're working with a printer, you can set it up however. Just let them know you're doing die cutting. But also, please talk to your printer. Say, hey, what is the best way I should set up my file for your software? I know for mine I have to do cut contour. This layer will now be my cut contour layer. While I have this selected, I'm going to go up here. I'm going to make it all one piece. And then I also want to get rid of this nose. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to grab my shape builder tool. And then we get rid of that nose now. Just for ease of use, I'm also going to go here already. And I'm going to go add a global color. I'm going to call this cut contour. I'm going to call this CMYK. I'm going to make this just 100%. This is the color I like to make my cut contour. I've seen people use it as green, whatever. I'm going to call this spot as well. And now we have that in there. I'll go here. I'll go to my swatches. And I will make this color now. Now I have at least a different variation of understanding what I'm looking at. I'm going to go over here to the contour tool. I'm going to go up here. I'm going to set this to 1/4 inch. This is a good amount of space for this shape. It'll give it good area, give it good space. I'll show you what that looks like when we're done. The minimum I would ever go is 1/8, but I would talk about why I wouldn't do 1/8 inch on this one, or why I would suggest 1/4 inch over 1/8 inch. There's some things we can go over after that. So let's get this first built. Now this is done, I'm going to right click and convert this to curve. Now I see there's some weird stuff going on because of how it built it. We can get rid of those. Let's grab our shape builder tool. We'll get rid of that. We'll get rid of that. This one we might have to manually delete. So I'm going to grab my direct selection tool, and I'm just going to delete these points. These will cut out. I also don't want this up here to be cut out. So I'm going to just delete these points. And there we go. I will now turn this into a stroke, and let's bring our artwork back up. And now as you can see, let's make the stroke just a little bit bigger for everyone to see. So let's go to a point. There we go. As you can see, we have this entire area that is now white. Now, if we went to 1/8 inch, a little bit rough, but as you can see, if we went a little bit closer, we start seeing some spots that are closer than other spots. This would actually cause some issues with our cuts. what actually would happen is, as this is cutting, if we got too close with an 1/8 inch, it would start to create inconsistent margins. It would make it look like it's not a professional product. It would make it look like we're hacks. We don't know what we're doing. So I always suggest a little bit more margins better, especially the smaller you go. Smaller you go, the more noticeable this is going to be. Also, looking at this, I'm looking at these points and seeing down here makes me a little bit concerned. How this comes down and then it goes in and then it comes back out real quick. This point is pretty harsh. I would worry about a blade picking itself up and then having to go back in on itself. It's not awful there, but that is a point of consideration I have to worry about. If these kicked in a little bit more, I would also worry about that. If this dipped into this nook, I would worry about that. Down here, right here, where this double point is, I'm worried about that. I would actually probably delete that. I would delete one of these. This one will actually, up here, will actually make it better. Now, looking at this, we could also set this up as any other shape we wanted to. So say we actually just want to do a square. Let's make a new artboard and let's see what that would look like. Let's see, we have a 4x4. Let's do a 3.75 by 3.75. So we'll grab our square tool. We're making sure we still have our cut contour selected. And we're going to go here. We're going to make this. We're going to go to our transform tool. And then I'll go to my alignment. And now you see we got our margin, we got our bleed here. We need bleed when we do cut contour. Even if it's a square cut, we still need that bleed because it needs to make it so we can have room in the RIP software to have it. So overall, I hope you learned something. I hope you got something out of this. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.